Hello and welcome to Team Ministry Training. On behalf of Rhonda Miles and myself, Joe Woolsey, I wanted to invite you to write down your questions as you go through this process and reach out to your team leader, her or myself, with those questions whenever you finish so that we can all be on the same page. I also want to encourage you to pause this video as you're going through to read some of the words on the page for a better understanding. First off, what is team ministry? Team ministry is a step-by-step discipleship process. Our mission is to grow disciples of Jesus Christ who know Him, love Him, serve Him, and share Him for the transformation of Murfreesboro and the world. And our plan is to meet our mission by intentionally walking with our students through this dynamic process. What is the process? Well, we're going to unpack all of that for you in this training. First of all, we'll fulfill 9 different interactions a year with your mentee. And also, you'll be keeping notes within a digital folder during specific interactions so that growth can be tracked and shaped depending on the need of the individual. Our goal is to teach students to build and thrive in healthy community, equip families and mentors to nurture and affirm the lives of our young people, mentor students to embrace a faith shaped by the principles of prayer, care, and share. And our overall hope is to bring our young people into an active and personal relationship with Jesus, guided by a trained mentor, so that when they encounter the world, they can rely on strength and wisdom gained from intentional Christian discipleship. This program will give each young person and their family an individually formed pathway to understand why they should pursue Jesus, while giving them a place to ask questions and see what a relationship with Jesus looks like in everyday life. This process will also encourage whole families to become disciples of Jesus who know Him, love Him, serve Him, and share Him for the transformation of Murfreesboro and the world. One of the first questions I normally get asked when reaching out to volunteers to disciple students or pour into students, from the youngest in our children's ministry to the oldest in our student ministry, there's an overwhelmed look that comes across their face, thinking that they cannot handle the pressures of being the most intelligent, the most spiritual person, knowledgeable person, or even simply having the abilities that a teacher has. There was a survey of 3,500 students, and in that they were asked, what are the things that you want in a mentor? Well, looking at this table, you can see that the ones that I just brought up are not something that students are really looking for. They're looking for someone who is going to be dedicated, concerned about them, open-minded to what they have to say, as well as understanding, someone that's enthusiastic and friendly. This is the makeup of what students are looking for when they sit down with a mentor. If you want to really unpack what this means on a more specific level, you can see that being present, listen, and giving an occasional good word sums up that entire table. If you can show up in a student's life, if you can listen to them, and then if you can bring up things that you've heard them say in the past to let them know, hey, you are engaged, with some encouragement, it's all a student really needs from their mentor. Let's dive into the actual application of our method. We have 9 interactions and a digital folder process. 9 interactions, 3 fellowship fun events, 3 text call letters, 3 spiritual conversations. Let's break down each group. First off, in our 9 interactions, we have our fellowship and fun events. These are events that your mentee would enjoy doing. As you continue to meet with your mentee throughout the year, these events will become more and more clear. But just in case, if you're not sure what you should be doing with them, we've given you some examples, as well as also there are things that are already ingrained in our ministry that you can be a part of. With that in mind, looking at the children's ministry options and the student ministry options, there are some of you that will become mentors that are already involved in one of the two ministries. If you are involved in those ministries and you are already interacting in some way with your mentee, this accomplishes 3 of your 9 interactions as you go through the year working in those spaces. Just remember to look out for your mentee and spend extra time whenever you're knocking out those first 3 interactions. For those of you that are not volunteering on that side, you can see favorite restaurant, dinner with a family, going to climb. Those types of things are things that you can discuss with the parents and the mentee to figure out a good opportunity to spend some extra fun time with your mentee. The second grouping of interactions is the text, call, letter, or event interactions. These 3 interactions are structured around the conversation you have had in the other 6 interactions. So simply reaching out and following up after a student tells you about a baseball game that they had, and you reach out later date to catch up and simply see how it went. This can look a lot of different ways, and you have the creativity to lean into those 3 interactions. Lastly are our 3 spiritual conversation interactions. Here you can see an example curriculum for 6th and 7th grade mentors and mentees. This curriculum is something that we will unpack, but it is all written out and set up just for you so that you can review it before your spiritual conversation interaction even takes place. When we look at that a little bit closer, each lesson plan is divided into 3 sections. There's a biblical and theological background section. There's a shared activity or activities and discussion section. And then there's practices to do on your own and with your family. For congruency across the life of the ministry with each student, we have the staple questions. The staple questions are these. In one word, how are you doing today? This is a question that can be expanded on. What do you mean by that word? What is God saying to you? And how are you responding? Which is built on Matthew 7:24 through 27. These staple questions are given to age groups across the board so that we can specifically track the growth and see exactly where students are at different age elements, as well as individually see where students are. Our last big topic is the digital folder. This is a digital folder that will be given to you via an email invite and is set up on a Google Drive containing information designed specifically for your mentee. There will be 3 things inside: lessons, meeting notes, and mentor materials. Lastly, in order to be a member of the team ministry, you must complete a background check as well as your Safe Sanctuary training video. I wanted to thank you on behalf of Rhonda Miles and myself for taking the time to be a part of this team ministry. Pouring into children as well as students at this church is such a wonderful thing, and to see volunteers signing up to do that is incredible. Thank you again so much for your time.